Okay, good evening, everyone, and welcome to Let's Grow Pulling. Jason Schultz has the night off after a busy weekend, but he is working for the Badger State Tractor Pullers up at the Wisconsin State Fair Convention at the Dells at the Kalahari Resort. And I'm Ryan Zolka. I'm here with Brandon Johnson as we have a special treat for you as we continue along in our winter pulling series. We have Bryce Howell and Carl Harlan here representing the NTPA Winter Nationals that will be taking place in a couple weeks down at the Cloverdale at the Cabar and C Exposition Center, and we'll be bringing them in just a little bit. And then later on tonight we'll be recapping Gordyville 2017. Clint Tucker will be back on the promoter for that event and go over the ups and downs of Gordyville 2017. But first we bring in Carl and Bryce. Good evening, guys, and thanks for joining me tonight to talk about the NTPA Winter Nationals 2017.
Yeah, Ryan, thanks for having us.
So we'll start with what we're going to call Carl tonight, the right-hand man at the Cabar and C. Carl, also the promoter for the NTPA Winter Nationals. Good evening, and what I heard from Bryce is you're actually soaking up the sun down in the Bahamas.
Yes, I am. We're at the Atlantis Resort at Paradise Island, the Bahamas, right now. We'll be coming back Wednesday.
Yeah, so you've had definitely a nice little getaway. It's been pretty cold up here in the Midwest.
It was 8 degrees when we left last Friday morning.
Yeah,
so this is really good timing.
Yeah,
You and I both got the Gordyville crud, Ryan, and he's down there drinking tequila.
Yeah. And I think it's actually
that's right on both counts.
Yes, it was. We definitely got our fair share of smoke over the weekend, even though it was an indoor pull.
Yeah, all of us gearheads really like that smoke, but after a while, when you're indoors, it kind of gets to you, doesn't it?
Yeah, and it was pretty cold out, so they didn't really open up the doors that much. So I guess we got the experience of an outdoor pull indoors this year at Gordyville, unfortunately. But that's the way sometimes it goes, and we survived. And again, just thanks you guys for taking the time this evening. And Carl, why don't we'll start with you with your background and just kind of the background of the Cabar and C Exposition Center.
Okay. My wife and I both grew up south of Terre Haute, and I went to Purdue University, and Cindy went to ISU there in Terre Haute. And while I was at Purdue, I was on the Boilermaker Tractor Pull Foundation for 2 years, and my dad had always taken me to tractor pulls when I was a kid, just casually. We were never involved in pulling. But I wanted to be a part of the Tractor Pull Foundation, and got out from Purdue, worked on a farm in the Marshall, Illinois area in seed business, and wound up managing the seed business for 4 years. And then I went into the seed business for 2 different companies for 28 years. And Cindy and I started farming completely from scratch in 1999 and continue to farm today. And I left the seed business about 3 years ago after we had purchased Cabar C. And it's primarily a regional and national caliber event center for different equine events. And we got 500 indoor stalls. Actually, everything's under one roof. 500 stalls, 2 arenas, a full commercial kitchen, and offices. But I knew looking forward that our plate needed to contain things other than just horse events. And even though we're centered in barrel racing and speed events as a family, we knew from a business standpoint we needed to diversify. And one thing that kind of came naturally to me was tractor pulling. And Cindy and I and our manager, Steve Jackson, all met with NTPA. And one of the things I've learned over almost 32 years of marriage, and it's been a long, hard fight, but she's finally got it beat into me, is if my wife doesn't like somebody, I better listen to her. And if she does like somebody, I better listen to her. and she felt very comfortable with Greg Randall and Dave Schreier, and that just carried a lot of weight, and we felt like they were the right organization to go with, and so far we've been very much proven true.
Yeah, I mean, it's the Cabar and C Exposition Center is kind of unique. The only indoor pulling track in the world that has a 320-foot track, so that's something special to be proud of.
Yeah, it is, and there's a kind of a special story behind that. The building itself is 320 by 600 feet. There's 176,000 square feet under roof, and when we started talking to NTPA, there was no smoke tube that had ever been made that could do a 320-foot track. So we met with Vaughn Bauer, and I mean, Vaughn's a can-do kind of a guy.
Yes.
I think he's one of those guys, if you told him he couldn't do something, he'd definitely prove to you that he could, but he took the challenge right up, and our longest pull so far has been 334 feet. And one of the things, I'm proud of that. I'm proud of the 320-foot track that's never been done indoors. The other thing I'm very proud of, I had two different pullers last year tell me that our track was one of the two toughest tracks they pull on all year long. They have to put all the weight on the front of the tractor because it's that tight of a track.
Yeah, and that's, normally when you're pulling indoors or you're thinking indoors, for a lot of people, you got to really change up your setup for most vehicles because it's going to be a lot shorter track. But when you get that from the competitors, that's definitely something. Is the dirt there? Is that something that had to be hauled in, or did you guys already have it in the arena?
Well, there's a little funny story to that, too, Ryan. Larry Richwine and another fella asked me, if we had dirt that we could pull in, and I laughed, and they didn't see what the humor was, when they'd asked a straightforward question. And I said, well, the whole county is a tractor pull track. And they said, what do you mean? I said, well, it's just yellow clay dirt, yellow to brown clay dirt. And they said, yeah, but do you have something that we could bring into the building, or you could bring into the building? I said, you take 8 inches of arena dirt off here, and you got the best tractor pull track you've ever pulled on. Well, they didn't believe me, to make a long story short, and I said, well, we'll go get the skid steer, and I'll prove it to you. And we scraped off 8 inches of arena dirt, which is a mixture of sand, clay, and just pretty much sand and clay, I guess you'd say.
Sure.
And they took samples of it in a bucket and took it back and everything, and they came back and said, yeah, that's perfect. And it's proven out to be, we just plow the stuff off to the side and feather it out and put the bleachers on top of it. And we've got one of the two toughest tracks they'll pull on all year.
Yeah, we're just showing some of the pictures from last year off of the NTPA Winter Nationals.com website. And when you have that type of, the amount of horsepower that in the vehicles that you're bringing in, and then, to have that consistent of a track, especially early on, is this going to be your third year with NTPA now?
Yes.
Yeah, and then you get those comments right away. That's from some of the top pullers, across the country and and around the world. And when you're bringing in pro stock, super stock diesels, the two-wheel drive trucks, all the different other classes you've had over the years, and to get that type of compliment, that's like you said, just something special and something you can just continue to build on.
Yeah, and that's our hope. We want this to be the best show that any pulling fan can go to, and that's why it's the top 12. Point-wise in each class, and then there's 2 or 3 that are promoter's choice that we bring in also. Sure. And we want it to be the best of the best, and we want to put on a show that you can't see anywhere else.
Yeah, definitely. I think with the addition to this, with the winter pulling circuits, with all the different pulling events throughout the winter popping up, this is definitely going to be a destination for sure for pulling fans. Especially, you don't really get to see these types of classes except, maybe if you can't make it to the National Farm Machinery Show, this is another option for you, and especially to get to see them be able to go a full 300 or 320 feet, or like you said, 330 feet.
Yeah, the feedback that we're getting from the pullers and from the fans is, I'll be honest with you, it's really gratifying. It's the kind of thing that when you're a promoter, you really want to hear people say and hope they'll say. But also understand, that people are going to have complaints normally, and we just
Yep.
don't. We just don't get the complaints.
Yes.
The feedback has just been incredibly positive.
Especially, you might have a few kinks or bugs, especially the first couple of years of the event, and but it just seems like everything has gone really well for you guys right off the get-go, which is always, encouraging for the fans or, for new spectators to check it out, especially, for this year. And I'm, even think about coming down myself, and it looks like most of the hotels are already booked for the weekend. Trying to find a hotel, that's always a good challenge to have.
Well, not only that, I'm going to count on seeing you there.
Yeah, okay. I will definitely, especially for Saturday, the 2 sessions on Saturday. I'm about from my house 6.5 hours north. So, but
Okay.
and just looking at pictures,
That's just a nice afternoon
yes,
drive.
it is. Yeah, yes, it is. Another great.
We also remind people we've got great food there. We've got things for the kids. We've got entertainment in between the sessions on Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
We've got 2 beer gardens. We've got a trade show of booths there. So there's plenty of things to do. And open pits. The pits are free.
Yeah, and I was just going to mention, because of the size of your facility, everything is right under one roof, and everything is all together for the fans. So no matter what the weather is outside, they'll be able to get to see and get right up close and personal with the pullers as well.
Yes, that's exactly right.
And Ryan, another thing I want to mention this year, this is the first year we're going to be bringing in the Miles Beyond 300 Road Show. So kind of it's got a NASCAR or college game day type of feel to it for the people that have never seen it. But Miles is going to be interviewing in between sessions and before the Friday night session, mostly all of the NTPA reigning Grand National champions from last year. We're going to have Colin and Jody Ross that were the Diesel Superstock champions with the triple bypass. Jesse Petro, the two-wheel drive champ, Adam Kester, the mini mod champ, Tim Shipley, the Pro Stock Diesel champ, and then he's also going to have Chad Mayhill of CN Pulling Tires on, chatting a little bit about pulling tires, and then he's actually going to be having my brother on the show to kind of talk about this is the first year we're going to have the class that my family we campaign in the light Pro Stock tractors.
Yeah, so
are going to have my brother on the show and talk about the kind of how that class has evolved and why some of the reasons that Carl and them have decided to go with that. Also tomorrow Miles is going to launch on his website the Miles Beyond 300 Pick'em contest, kind of like what he does for the farm show and things like that, where the fans can get interactive and go in and pick their winners and who they think are going to do good at this event. And so those are 2 really good things, as Carl mentioned there. In between the sessions on Saturday, we're going to have live music on the sides of the track. We're going to have some bouncy houses, some pedal tractor pulls for the kids, beer garden. Doors open at 9 a.m., so, they can get in early, go meet some of their drivers, listen to the road show, things of that nature. So just a lot of stuff going on that doesn't involve pulling. It's truly can be a family event, and for the people in Indiana, this is going to be the first year, and I think 2 or 3 years that the event isn't scheduled right on top of the Monster Jam that goes on in Indianapolis.
yeah, that's always a good plus right there.
So maybe can draw some of those guys in as well.
Yeah, and I mean, because with both motorsports, there's fans of both types of motorsports, so that'll be great for the event to, get those people that maybe have gone there in the past and be able to check out the event as well down in Cloverdale.
Yes.
Because you're not too far from Indianapolis to begin with.
Food there, and it'll be recorded for RFD TV. It'll air 18 times in 2017 on RFD TV.
Yep. So we're showing the NTPAWinterNationals.com website right now, and they have a big banner scrolling right across the screen. That's something else that's very unique, I think, only to your event, where it's both being taped for television and will be live streamed through the NTPA website for a cost as well. So that's 2 different options. If you can't make it, it's going to be live streamed. Is that correct on NTPA website?
Correct.
Yep. So if you're someone listening maybe out in the West Coast or farther on the East Coast and just can't make it down to Indiana, you'll also be able to tune in live stream through the NTPA website, and that's something very unique to your indoor event. And of course, like you said, it'll be on RFD TV 18 times throughout the 2017 season, so you'll definitely get a chance to check it out on TV as well. And I believe just a couple weeks ago, or maybe this week, the NTPA Championship Polling Series moved to prime time on RFD TV on Tuesday nights, so make it a little bit easier for people to watch.
Yeah,
that is correct.
So quite
Ryan, as Carl's mentioned, this is an invitational, so it's the best of the best that NTPA has to offer. Not just anyone can come to this poll. I mean, you have to get invited, kind of like the Louisville deal. So you're going to have the top of the top, and as well as some promoters' choices and things like that. So these guys can really come out and see the cream of the crop, and the best, their favorite drivers will probably be there. So another thing that kind of can draw people in and separates the Cloverdale poll versus other polls in the country. It's you have to kind of earn your way in there, and so that's definitely have the cream of crop. And I think the only place indoors you can see the top 10 or 12 in NTPA, where I know it's the only place indoors you can see the top 10 or 12 in NTPA at points on a full 320-foot track.
Yeah, this is really it's almost. Right. It's almost turned into a great, like a kind of basically the way I picture it is like the Enderley pull-off, but indoors for the Winter Series for NTPA.
Yeah, I like that. And, everybody knows the Bahamas is a really big destination in January. It's a great place to go. I'd say the next favorite place I'd have would be Cloverdale, Indiana.
Especially during the NTPA Winter Nationals. So let's kind of go over the sessions here, starting Friday night, and the different classes that they'll be able to see. I mean, these are the top classes that NTPA has to offer, and of course now adding the light pro stock on Saturday afternoon. So Friday night sessions start 7 p.m. Now, is Cloverdale in the Eastern time zone or the Central time zone?
Eastern. It's in the Eastern time zone.
Because I don't know where that line kind of zigzags through Indiana.
We don't.
Yeah, it's the Indiana-Illinois line.
Okay.
Well, actually, it's not that clear. Yeah, there's a divot out for Evansville and a divot out for around Chicago. But it's basically the Indiana-Illinois line, let's say.
Okay, so 7 p.m. Eastern time, you got the Pro Stock Diesel tractors, Super Stock Diesel 4x4 trucks, and the Mini Modifieds to start out Cloverdale 2017. And that should be a great lineup right there for Friday night. Saturday afternoon, starting at noon, the Super Stock Diesel tractors, the modified 4x4 trucks, Mini Modifieds, and like Bryce mentioned, the light Pro Stocks, a class that he knows quite well with his family, and their beautiful New Holland tractor. So that I think that's going to be a great addition to Cloverdale this year, and especially how popular that class is in with Region 2 and your neck of the woods.
Oh, for sure. I definitely think, and again, I might be a little biased, but that class just brings so much color.
Yes.
And it's for a matter of fact, we just got back from Gordyville, as you know, and Zach finally let me drive it in the seat there on Saturday, and I ended up not making take the top 8 to the finals, and I ended up not making it out, but I think between, don't quote me exact, but between like 4th and 15th, there was only 2.5 foot that separated them.
Yeah, it's a very, very competitive class.
Very competitive class, and color, and it gives the I guess the fans something to look forward to and see than just red and green paint. Like you said, we're gonna have an orange one finally getting back together. Jared Nussbaum there, that pretty tough running orange one. We got our blue one. Unfortunately, we had to make a quick switch. The Holman family there with the Power Hound tractor had a little mechanical issue at Gordyville and broke it, so they're not going to be able to make it. But Matt Holland is actually going to be coming and bringing his tractor out of Greensburg, Indiana, another Deere there, very strong running tractor. So, but just a new class that's really starting, as you guys know, running your limited 4-1, limited and light pro class is definitely a class that's growing and brings color and just something else for the fans to see.
Yeah, we just added the light pro stock class to the Badger State tractor pullers last year, and it's definitely become one of my favorite classes. I just love how between the weight and then just they have such a unique sound that, and the wheel speed that they get out of 540 cubic inches and in whatever turbo you could run. And we're gonna have 7 or 8 this year on the circuit for Badger State on the light pro stock side. We're expecting, and so really looking forward to that. I think we're gonna have I believe we have a white being built for that class, and then your John Deere's and internationals, and I think we'll definitely have some more color along the way as that smaller cubic inches really opens up the door for the different color, and it'll just be another great class to watch. I know it's just exploded down in Region 2, and we had a tractor go down to Fort Recovery that was the first year down here, and he finished 4th, and he was just tickled to death to finish 4th in the pull-off at Fort Recovery last summer. So
for sure, and I know Schulte's on us. We're gonna try to come up and bring ours up and pull with you guys some this summer as well. So
yeah, we'll definitely be looking forward to that. And then of course Saturday night, a great lineup to round out Cloverdale with the Pro Stock, Super Stock diesel trucks, and the 2-wheel drive trucks. So just a great show. From start to finish, just going over ticket prices, pre-sale tickets for a single session, $25, or if you want to buy it at the door, $30. That'll be for Friday night or Saturday night only, and the Saturday only pass for $50 at the door, for $50 in advance, $55 at the door, or a weekend pass, $65 or $75 at the door. I mean, that is, for $65 in advance for 3 great sessions of the best NTPA has to offer, you're definitely getting a great deal. And of course, everything's indoors. As we talked about earlier at Cloverdale, and just really couldn't go wrong. And like you said, with the additions you're going to have live music and the kids and bounce house area for the kids zone. Definitely bring out the family, and if the kids get a little bit bored, send them over to the kids zone, and they can have fun in the bounce houses as well.
Yeah, and correct.
And Ryan, I have a point along.
8 and under.
Go ahead,
right?
Go ahead, Brian. You're gonna say what I was gonna say. 8 and under is free.
Okay.
Great minds think alike.
Yeah,
that's all right.
And then, like you said, I think that the Miles Beyond Road Show, he does a great job. He brought up the Toma last year for the Dairyland Super Nationals. I know he's done Bowling Green for quite a few years, and he just does a great job with the pullers. He knows them quite well, and that'll be a great addition to the event, especially before. So if you can get there early, if you're planning on going, get there early and listen to what the inside scoop that you might not even know about some of the pullers that Miles will bring out, and you'll have the big screen there too. Is that correct?
No, you broke up a little bit there, Ryan.
You'll have the big screen there that NTPA offers too. So on top of everything else, you'll get all the replays from each pass, and they do a great job with AP Productions and everyone at NTPA with getting those replays up and keeping that distance like they do for the outdoor series.
Bryce, are you still there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay.
Okay.
So we'll just kind of recap what we have going on at Cloverdale 2017 coming up January 20th and 21st. I have Carl Harlan. He is part owner of the Cabar and C Exposition Center down in Cloverdale, and we got Bryce Howell, who's this is your first. You said this was your first year jumping on board, kind of helping out Carl with all the things going on at the Winter Nationals this year, Bryce.
Yeah, correct. Yeah, I mean, Carl and I kind of tell everybody he's kind of like a second father to me. We've known each other for quite a while now doing the horse events and stuff, and we've always bounced ideas off of each other and things like that. And I think he finally got so tired of me last year asking him, or the last couple of years asking him to put our class in, he finally just said, okay, you can help a little bit. So kind of just jumping on board, trying to help them on some sponsorship and things, and some different things of that nature. But yeah, this is my first year taking a real active role within the tractor pull.
Sure. And we had a question from our Facebook watchers. Is there a driver's list for each class up yet?
Yes, there is. If you go to the About Us section and scroll down under the 2017 event, if you scroll all
here we go,
all the way down underneath that, it will have the list of drivers.
Yep. So great lineup. Like you were talking about the top 10 in points, and then plus the kind of like a wild card selection from the owners with Carl. Is that how you guys determined who was coming?
Yep. In most classes with the light pros, it was top 10.
Sure.
And then as well as a few promoters' choices.
Yep.
In there.
Yeah. So a great. Yes. You're definitely not going to be lacking, the big names in NTPA pulling, like Bryce said. And then plus you get to see some of the promoter's choice, and that'll be a great mixture of a battle from some that don't quite run the full NTPA circuit, but get a chance to come and pull in the NTPA Winter Nationals. You got Bill Leishner and Joe Etter in the mini modifieds, brand new the mini with the Geico Junior. It'll be fun to get to see them mix it up with some of the top mini modifieds, and a great lineup, of course, pro stock tractors, the diesel super stock 4x4s, super stock diesel tractors, four-wheel drive modified trucks. Is that the first year for them down at Cloverdale?
Yes, it is.
Yeah, so that'll be a great addition for them to get them involved. And then, of course, like you're talking about, the light pro stocks and the two-wheel drive trucks. And any plans in the future to add different classes? I know you've mixed it up now here a couple of years now, or going to more classes per session later on, maybe in the future.
That's always open.
Sure.
Any of those ideas are always open, and we're looking at it as bringing the best show that we can to the pulling population, the pulling fans, and whatever that involves to be able to do that is definitely on the table.
Yeah, and Ryan, one thing that really intrigued me, I guess, to get involved and help a lot is obviously Charles, a businessman, and the forefront and the number one thing he wants to do is get this thing to grow.
Yes.
He loves tractor pulling. He wants it to grow. I think he's definitely surrounded himself with it, being with NTPA and things of that nature, with the best that he can. And Carl and I had several late night talks at the bar about this tractor pull, and kind of our goal is to make this the premier spot. With the 320-foot track and the affordability aspect of it versus maybe going to a Louisville or something of that nature. And obviously the cream of the crop competition and the things that you got going on, with the road show and the stuff that goes on in between the sessions. You really make it a family event and kind of a destination type of a deal. And, Carl and I have also talked, you got to give it up to Clinton, what he's done with Gordyville. That's a destination for tractor pulling fans, and that's how we want to make Gordyville one day. So just keep continuing to grow this thing, and at it one day we can make it where we can add more classes, and heck yeah, for sure. But keep growing, and I think we definitely have the right amount of people around and things of that nature to do it.
No, I think you guys are definitely right. You're on the right track. Like Carl said, only positive feedback from the last couple of years of this Winter Nationals, and really getting NTPA back involved since the Indy Super Pole days. And I know a lot of people were excited when they jumped on board a few years ago with you to kind of bring back in the NTPA Winter Pole, and that's definitely has some good roots in Indiana.
Yeah, that's right. I remember as a kid, I was in high school and college, going to the Super Bowl at the fairgrounds, and being able to be compared to that, I consider that a compliment.
Yeah, I think that's you're right on the right path, and you have so much working for you. Like you said, the 320-foot track, the huge facility where everyone can come in. They get right up and personal with the pullers. You're adding the live music, like you talked about, great food vendors, you're going to have a great vendor list of on either side, I'm sure, just like kind of like Gordyville has set up, and NTPA, the show that they bring, and the vehicles that people will be able to see. Really don't have that option throughout the winter months unless you do have the option of going to the farm machinery show, but this gives them a second option at the price that you're offering at. Is just a great deal for people. And if you're in the Indiana area this weekend, or if you're someone like me that's going to be able to drive down and get to see a great show, definitely hit this up in a couple weeks. Friday and Saturday, January 20th and 21st, Cloverdale, Indiana, the Cabar and C Exposition Center. And like you said, with Miles, and just want to hit on one more time, he'll be starting the Pick'em contest. Did you say tomorrow, Bryce? That will be launching.
Yeah, he'll be coming on tomorrow with that. He texted me earlier and said he was going to be launching that on the Miles Beyond 300 website tomorrow.
Yeah, and we'll definitely we'll get a link up here on the Beer Money Polling Facebook page tomorrow too, once that gets set up. And so don't forget about that. He's going to be doing just like he does for the National Farm Machinery Show. He's going to have the Pick'em contest, so you'll be able to vote for your favorite poller in each class, and then depending on how they do, he'll have some prizes and awards for those the top pickers out there. And I think that's just a great way to get fans involved in the sport of truck and tractor pulling. And Miles has just done an amazing job with his website.
For sure has. And before we hop off here, we want to thank just some of our sponsors.
Sure.
Bain Welker Equipment, Case IH Agriculture coming back on board, and also O'Reilly Auto Parts. They're the three main sponsors there. Carl, if there's any more you want to thank there, those were just the three on the top of my head that I wanted to go ahead and send a thank you out to, but can't do it without those guys' support.
Yep, that's right.
And anything else that you guys wanted to add or that we missed about the show coming up in a couple weeks? I know, I believe you guys are going to come back on next week. Is that correct?
Yep, that's what Jason was saying.
Yep, so we'll get you on one more time next week to help promote you the week of. And I know it's going to be another great event, and I'm pretty sure now that I'll probably be coming down and making the trip for both sessions on Saturday.
Awesome.
All right. We'll look forward to it.
Yeah, so we'll be looking forward to talking to you guys next week. We'll get you back on, and hopefully, we'll have a great show in a couple weeks down in Cloverdale. So thanks, Bryce. Thanks, Carl, for coming on, and I hope you have a great rest of your evening.
You too, guys. Thank you.
All right. Yep. Yeah. Thank you, Ryan. Thanks for having us.
Okay. Okay, so that was Bryce Howell with helping out with Carl Harland with the 2017 Winter Nationals down in Cloverdale, January 20th and 21st. Coming up, we'll be talking with Clint Tucker here as we recap Gordyville 2017, and it will be definitely a 13th event to remember if you stuck around for the long sessions that we had at Gordyville, but still an amazing job by the What Smokin' Promotions crew. But first, I'm gonna show a video that Jesse Post put together. This was a recap from Saturday night. That'll give us a nice little transition, and we'll get Clint Tucker back on right after this. So this is a video that Jesse Post with JP Polling Productions put together and it recaps the Saturday night session at Gordyville.
About it, Red Band, you're already leading at 2:40 and 4 strong, straight run to the finish line. The next one is your attitude machine.
Several things that we're to blame. One, we let way too many tractors in. That's going to be addressed. And then that stupid cart we're trying to underneath that smoke tube. The wheels that come on it were inferior, and they were starting to break there on Thursday night because we didn't get any chance to test it at all because the guy who built it for us didn't get it into our hands until Wednesday night at 7, so we couldn't even use it during our test passes. So we were pretty blind. It was really frustrating.
Yeah.
But then, so we had tires falling off of it, and we got that fixed. We got through Thursday. Addressed the issue Friday when we good friend Carl Kahn. He brought us some tires from the caster wheels from the manufacturer in Wisconsin. He was good enough to go get them and bring them down to us. And that seemed to solve the problem. But then we got along great after we got that problem fixed on Friday afternoon. This Friday afternoon session just went a little long because of the numbers. Then the train wreck continued, but we didn't get started on time on Friday night till about 8. And then having all those pro stocks, 11 every one of them, they take a little extra time. And then during the pro stock class, we're dragging the sled so fast that cart under the tube was going so fast when we stop or slow down, it tries to pass the sled. And when it does that, it kinks the tube and shuts off the exhaust going through it, so it immediately gets instantly hot, and then it melted. Nick McCormick exploded it.
Yeah.
Then, in fact, about every pro stock that had a Weimer turbo on did blow our tube apart. So that's a pretty good advertising thing for them. I don't envy Cloverdale or Long Track this year. I know I heard a lot about that Long Track, but I don't envy them. It's going to be. I wish them the best of luck. Because our smoke machine's pretty much identical to the one they're using because it was the first one built. Everybody else's smoke machine after ours was copied.
Sure.
It's like about everything else all the indoor pools do. They copy what we do. But we're scratching our heads right now. I don't know where to get better tube to hold that kind of pressure
Yeah.
I don't know where to in heat. So we got some homework to do. I don't know. We can't turn the fan much harder, so it's going to be we're scratching our heads right now. We really don't know what we're going to do.
Well, when you're trying out new technology like that, you're the first one to really do the cart system over here, and I think you're definitely going to have some growing pains like we've seen over the weekend, and you guys will get it figured out, and hopefully maybe some video of how the tube was rolling that will help you figure out things for next year.
Right. Well, and then the really unfortunate thing is whenever we have all these train wrecks, and on Saturday night or on Sunday morning, having to roll that late into the night because of all the numbers and bad luck. We blew the hose apart, I think 3 or 4 times. It happened so many times I can't remember them all. But it was terrible. And the fans stuck with us. So I was really happy with that for a while. But we lost, our fears now, because all those kids that pull on a tube are FFA kids. Well, no parent wants their kids standing along a pulling track till 3 in the morning. So even though it's our first year we ever did it, it's still it's going to be hard to be forgiven for that, because in this day and age, social media, bad news travels twice as fast as good. Yeah. And well, we got kind of a black eye there.
We have a couple pullers saying, thanks to, that they still had a great weekend, and despite all the trouble with the tube, and I think, the pullers kind of understand, and I hope the fans kind of understand what was going on, and trying that new trolley system.
Yeah. We've had a lot of positive guys. I mean, we're pretty good friends with all the pullers.
Yeah.
We got a lot of pats on the back, and I can't thank all the guys that stuck, all of our guys that worked for us. They worked their guts out. It was a very frustrating weekend, and we were all smiling and had a beer together before we left at 5 a.m. Saturday morning. But the numbers will be addressed. We're going to go to a Thursday afternoon session. We have so many tractors going to compete. We'll try to get some tractors processed. We're kicking around the idea of only letting tractors hook in one class, but I know that's going to be a problem. Maybe we'll let you and Schultz take a poll. We'll send you 4 classes of tractors that kind of seem to want to hook twice. Like actually a hot farm always wants to pull in the 9,000 Super Farm, 85 Lemon Pro Super Farm, and 9,000 Super Farm, stuff like that. Take a poll and see what the fans want to see, what tractors they want to see hooked twice. And we're going to have to put a cutoff date, probably November 15th. Guys just got to get their stuff into us and take it serious now. I mean, this was a very frustrating weekend. All the guys and I were standing around, and none of us had any fun. It was more of a job than anything. And if it's not any fun, we're going to quit doing it. And I hope people understand that it's a horrible financial risk, and if it's no fun doing it, then why are we doing it?
Yeah, I mean, if you guys, you probably didn't hardly get any sleep, throughout the weekend as well. Especially, people just don't realize how many tractors and the few trucks that you had to move, throughout the back of the arena all weekend long, and then especially if an event goes really late, that really pushes back everything else.
Right. Well, we always ask for guys' understanding, but
yeah,
we never get it.
Takes a toll.
We usually get there in 8:30 in the morning. We bring tractors in on Thursday and bust our tail, and I think our pit boss, they left the arena at 4:30 a.m. on Friday and back at 8. And then I helped them put tractors away on Friday night or Saturday morning. I think we left the arena at 4:15 a.m. after we put stuff away and got things organized for the next day. But we're going to have to address that procedure too. We had a tremendous amount of pullers coming in and just pitching a fit that we couldn't get their tractors in the arena while we're pulling the session.
Yeah.
And that's really disheartening. It's pretty disrespectful to the guys that are pulling to take the help away from them. If guys are going to go indoor pulling in the winter, they need to be able to figure out how to heat their trailers up and keep their tractors in them. If they can't do it, maybe this ain't your game. I mean, I pulled down Louisville, Stuart Mays. I've been down there with Lance Little, Nick McCormick. We've all figured out how to keep tractors warm in the trailer because, you don't go in Mike Witt in Louisville. You don't go down in the floor and race game with him to get your tractor in freedom in Bodbent for Friday night on the middle of Wednesday. You just don't do it. It's really disrespectful. A lot of guys did it this year. I know it's bitter cold, but we're going to try to adjust the situation where maybe that won't happen because we have certain classes that are the absolute worst that do it. And, we'll adjust that on our itinerary and paperwork, how we can maybe keep a little harmony back here because, like I said, it was pretty frustrating weekend for everyone. And I know a lot of guys the floors had a lot of fun, especially the ones that got to pull on the same day that we started.
Yeah.
But some of the guys that pulled last, and I really think the 9,500 hot farm clock guys and the 11 pro farm guys that I talked out of running on Friday morning or Friday night, 11 pushed to Saturday morning at 11. I thank those guys for understanding. We've had to do that in the past at Gordyville. We was over with twin tracks over 400, 500 entries. We had to do that.
Sure.
And I was this weekend's train wreck really reminded me of the Cloverdale train wreck, and I hope we don't have to go through it again. We already started redesigning the carts today. Took them back to the welding shop, trying to get them to where they won't kink up and cause a mess. And Joe Hurd and I sat down last night and put the class schedule together. It'll be on our website within a week. We are going to start limiting classes down to 18 to 24 and paperwork in by November 15th, or maybe you're let's sit the bench. Something else that we did in the past, and we might stop now, is if you send your entry stuff in and you wouldn't happen to make it, we will probably reimburse you for your entry fees, but we will have a waiting list of guys that kind of maybe you might get his motor together, maybe not. We might have a waiting list for a class. So if we get it all on the website by November 15th, and
do like a standby list kind of thing.
Yeah, and if your guy don't make it, or doesn't think he's going to make it, call us, let us know, put you on the waiting list, and if we do get a cancellation after that, then you can fill his spot.
Sure.
We have a good idea how fast we can move tractors on the tractor. A couple of times when I was running the starting line, and all the key people were on the key spots. We were taking pretty high horsepower tractors on a track 2.5 to 3 minutes, and that's just about as fast as a guy can do it.
Yeah, especially getting that smoke tube moved and then getting it hitched up and then getting out of the arena so that the packer and the scrapers can do their job. So once things were moving well, everything was going good. Just a matter of then that smoke tube with the pro stocks.
Right. Well, everybody did their job. It was my idea to put the cart underneath there. Hager's been 100% against it since day one's conception. I've been trying to convince him of Fabi's tube and it'd be easier for the kids to pull.
Sure.
But, he doesn't pull it, so he doesn't care.
Yeah.
Because it's harder to get kids to pull on a smoke tube, and that's the integral parts of the game. But we'll have to address that too, see if we can get a little better system, with more cooperation, trying to get the tube-on carts, because that's the future. I know it is, and hopefully we'll get that accomplished next year, and it'll be flawless. I mean, we're still working on it now. I'm very excited to go to Cloverdale and talk to Von Power and look at his system. I think he's got some ideas that maybe would help us.
Sure.
The way he's got his put together, but I don't know. I mean, if you watch the videos off us, the pole looks awesome on video. You'll see all the disastrous mistakes. On Saturday, I went we broke 4 axles. 2 of them fell off. Running about 2:30 in the morning. I talked with you and Jason quite a bit for the last month, month and a half, about Lucky 13, and it was pretty much a disaster. Where we had a tractor blow up or explode our warm-up box. So I took it by the welding shop, and they they predicted about $3,500 to $4,000 worth of damage to fix that.
Jeez.
His guys was pretty careless with the ether back here and blowed it up, and somebody had unplugged the water injection system. So, I mean, it couldn't. It was like we had 20 black cats running across the arena all weekend long. It just we just couldn't have any luck.
Yeah.
But I will say, Mark D. Kemper, Charlie, and Flea, they did an amazing job of the track. Cloverdale's track might be 320 foot long, but I challenged them to kill as many pro stocks as we did on 250 feet.
Yeah.
There's not very places you can see that, and I think 3 or 4 went down each night. And whenever you're taking 3,300 to 3,600 horses knees, that's hats off to a track crew, and we got it.
No, I think the sled settings were pretty much, right on for the most part throughout the weekend. So give the Hager crew, and then along with the track, that just goes hand in hand. That was still spot on, I think.
Right. But track crew did their job. The guys in the back, Justin Morrison, Cole Johnson, we run a new boy on board. Austin Miller did an excellent job in the back. Didn't get one complaint from the pullers. They didn't bump into anything or hurt anything. Joe Hurd, of course, just works his guts out. He's the last one to leave, first one to get there every day, and organizes the pit area to where, the flow is just perfect. He designs where the tractors are parked, and to put 120 to 150 tractors in there and make it all work is great. All the girls did a good job of registration. My wife did a great job with all her crew to get the tickets in and out. And really appreciate all the vendors being there. Jeff Butts and his crew for helping Hager run the sled and jumping right in there to help us fix the tube. And old Moose, he did a good job, and his buddy Dave helped us fix that tube. We did a lot of patching.
Yeah.
It's pretty much junk from one end to the other, which is very costly and frustrating. But we'll live to play another day, and we learned a lot this weekend. Unfortunately, some of the things we learned and we're going to have to change is probably not going to be the most fan-friendly to some pullers and some spectators. We're going to have to bribe our ticket prices up a little bit and cut entries back. It sounds like a horrible promotional tool, but unfortunately, in the world we live in, to pay $100,000 purses, that's what you got to do.
Yeah. And I mean, I think, despite all the, the issues throughout the week, the fans really did stick around for the most part as long as they could. And I thought that was really encouraging.
Sure. Well, we've already been in contact. At 9 o'clock this morning, I got a call from Dan Scheid, and he gave me some phone numbers for some bleacher companies because we had never sold out until this year.
Yeah, I was going to say this had been one of the biggest crowds.
We sold out Friday night, Saturday afternoon, and Saturday night. We never sold out tickets. My wife estimated between pullers and fans there was over 4,000 people there Saturday afternoon and close to 5,500 on Saturday night.
And that was probably the biggest crowd for the afternoon sessions too that I've seen in the last couple of years too. So that was really great to see, because sometimes the afternoon sessions can be on the smaller side.
I don't want to give Lars and Hill big heads, but I think it's because we had those 8 pickup trucks in there. I mean, and we're going to bring them back if they'll come back. I know we're pretty destructive to a few of them, but I think they kind of knew that when they came.
Yeah, I mean, the couple was on the driver error there too. So, but no, I think we've had a few comments here come across Facebook that they really enjoyed the diesel trucks there, and it's been a while, for probably most of them, it's either their first time pulling indoors or maybe only their second or third time. So that's quite something new for them just to try and figure out as well, especially on that tough Gordyville track. And they were later in the session too. So trying to find, a good spot for them.
Sure. And well, like I said, I really appreciate everything you guys did for us. I mean, the social media, you can tell it's working. Our building is inferior in so many ways. It doesn't have enough seating. It's some days it's cold, some days it's freezing.
Yep.
It's dirty. I mean, that's one thing I could change. I wish the pit area, like we could clean the pit area, because it makes me sick to see these guys come through that doorway with, you know, $750,000 $350,000 trucks, just dust all over them. But there isn't much. Maybe we need to get some dusting girls there when they come in there and dust them off when they present them to the crowd. But
you need one of those robotic vacuum cleaners just to go around and
but I think all the 500 and some tractors that come, you know, we really appreciate you guys. 99% of them were excellent to work with. Really appreciate the pro side guys sticking around and pulling both nights, especially, you know, NTPA guys. They really supported the event. I hope PPL guys that were there seeing what we were doing and seeing the track and then hear about the payout, because we did pay them, you know, quite a bit more than we ever have in the past, and it's a lot better than any outdoor first they pull for.
Yeah.
So I hope they'll come back and maybe make our team thing a little bit better now they kind of understand the concept. And I want to congratulate the Team Tantrum with Lance and McCormick and Shipley's and Carlton. They squeaked it past the BG guys barely. If you had their combined scores both days, it was a real close, almost a tie, but then whenever we let them drop their bottom card, that gave Shipley's the win and Lance from Team Tantrum. So I think that worked. People were excited about it. We're looking forward to doing it again next year. Probably going to limit the number of pro stocks to 20 because, you know, well, I take it back. I think we're going to do 21 because we had a long talk with some of the guys, and instead of a 5-man team, because it's hard to get 5 pro stocks to get along, let alone commit to one another. So we might go to 3-man teams.
Sure.
And then that might be a little easier to do. So we have 6 or 7 3-man teams next year. That'll be kind of cool.
Yeah, no, I think the concept really worked out well, and it really just added to their class.
Correct. But once again, I just want to thank everybody. I thank all the fans, and thank everybody at County. We had the biggest crowd and the most tractors and the most problems all in 1 year. And you know, hope they forgive us. We'll strive to try harder to, you know, cut the shows down. Come see us Thursday afternoon, January 4th next year, and we'll prove it to you, because we don't like these kind of situations, and we don't stand for it, and we'll do better next year.
Yeah, if there's anything, you know, about your guys' crew, if anything is, you know, something went wrong from the previous year, you're definitely the ones to correct it, and we'll work on, you know, like you said, you started the next day already working on issues, so.
Yeah, well, it's, you know, let's freshen our mind and freshen our aggravation. We get back after it. Like I said, might be a new website involved with it next year too. I'm thinking about having Jesse's on their website. Mine's pretty primitive. I don't like it. So we might start with a new website here pretty quick and get it all run. We're going to change the rules a bunch. This factoring the classes and the 3 variations to satisfy individual needs. I think that's out the door. We're done with that. We tried to cater to everybody, and that's starting to work thin on our patience.
Yeah. So
we're going to set some rules up. We're going to do some talking to some more dyno guys and engine builders and set some rules up, and that's what we're going to have next year. And hope everybody enjoys it, and hope fans like it and get into it and come back out again. And we'll try to get done by midnight and make it another successful event as always.
Yeah, like one of our Facebook followers, you can't please everyone, especially when you have so many different organizations and pullers coming together. And you guys, that's probably one of the, I think, what makes Gordyville stand out is how well you can bring those different types of organizations together and pull together under one class for the most part.
Right. You know, most indoor polls are pretty political, and you got to be somebody to get in them. You know, you got to be a member of a certain club, or you got to run with certain organizations to be invited. More, you know, like the Keystone's more of the Eastern United States classes, which is great. And the Southern Invitationals, you know, class, they have a lot of tractors and tractor classes native to their land. You know, you're going to see the best class of light limited supers in the world at Murfreesboro, because they're just everywhere down there.
Yeah, that's
and
one of their key classes right there.
Yeah, but we offer a little bit of everything from everywhere. I mean, we have tractors come here from California, got sold in Missouri, and they took the motor and the wheels off it and went back to California with them. It was still in my arena in pieces on Saturday night whenever I got back there. I was like, what is going on here? We're still going to be an open show, no politics here. You're a good guy, got a good running tractor. Talked to some guys from out east. I think we might have some interesting tractors coming from the east. I really appreciate Fred's subject coming down from Canada. I know him and his daughter didn't have a very good first year Gordyville experience. I hope he comes back, and he probably needs to go talk to Mark Hawthorne or somebody, or Chad Mayhill on the get us in the tires. I don't think the Canadian double cuts are going to be the right tire choice for Gordyville, but maybe he can borrow a set or something. But it is what it is. We had a lot of fun, like I said. But it still looked good on video. It was a train wreck, during the night sessions, and we apologize to fans. And we've been in this spot before, and we'll get out of it, and we'll figure it out. We'll go on and do better next time.
Yeah, Bryce just commented, Bryce Howell, he said, it's still a great event and a mainstay event for polling, and something that they're trying to do at Cloverdale.
Yep. Yeah, we're looking forward to resting up a weekend and seeing everybody over at Cloverdale. I think me and a couple, 2 or 3 of my board guys, we're going to go out and see what Carl's doing. We went last year's the first time I got to go in person, and really enjoy watching them guys, the NTPA guys, pull on that long track.
Yeah.
I know Carl's kind of limited on space where he can park haulers and stuff, but he brings the upper crust in there, and it's good for the fans. And my son, he really loves mini rods, and he's figured out that they're over Cloverdale, so there's no way I'm not going to be able to take him over there.
No, he's going to bug you until you actually leave. So. No, I think I'm going to come down. I think I'm going to go down for the Saturday 2 sessions too. So, and check it out and get to see some great tractors and trucks there at Cloverdale in a couple weeks.
Right.
Yeah, we just had it on just before you did. So.
Well, and before we get off here, I want to thank you and Jason again. I'd like to set this up to where maybe we could talk sometime in September when we send out our paperwork, kind of remind people how serious we are about getting your paperwork back to us, so we can get a template, so we can get our programs done, so we can keep our numbers manageable. I mean, we're going to our 14th year. Hopefully by now, we've earned a little bit of respect to honor the show, and not everybody's seen how it can spiral out of control whenever everybody tries to jump in at the last minute, and that's what happened this year. And unfortunately, we're up to the deadline on there, and next year will be the first year we do it.
Yeah, I think a quick shout out to Brian Lively, who did a great job on the programs as well. Those are really ways as well. So that's really has added, and I love with the champions of the past champions as well, and getting like you said, being able to get all those names in there before he gets those printed off will just help that program out even better, and I think it's just great what he did for that.
Exactly, Brian's absolutely the best. The Hook magazine's awesome. He does Pro Pulling Leagues magazine. Yep. The color photos are just fantastic, and he does a great job putting that program together for us. I'm so happy to work with Brian, and he kind of helps me get the little White Pro Farms and National Aspirated Superstock tractors together and sponsors that class. And he's a ton of good work. And also, I want to give a shout out to the Illini State guys who brought the signs down. Had our distances flashing at the end.
Yep. Heartland did a great job too.
Everybody was really, really happy with the distance signs at one end, and then Alan did a great job with the replay boards at the other, and then advertising boards down there by the distance signs. I mean, not one time did I hear a fan yell to the gate when I was sitting there running the RPM box. What was that distance? Because you can look down and you could see it.
Yeah, I mean, it was every corner was covered. So.
Yeah, I've had a couple of guys ask me if they were at in Vegas or a strip club. They didn't know which on the blinking lights. And that's like, well, it's a tractor pull.
No, I mean those distance boards and the video boards have just really helped step up the game, and then you had that middle board which had the current leader as well scroll across there. So that was really cool. So if you didn't quite catch who was still in the lead, that you were able to catch that.
Yeah, that I mean, every group should have that. I mean, Illini State, nobody really knows what those guys do because you're kind of a secret up here. They don't really toot the horn a whole lot, but they're kind of a nice little secret up here in Northeastern Illinois. They got some pretty cool events, and hopefully this summer, my brother and I and Woody, we can take in a couple of them and get them on video and have them for sale on our website.
Sure.
Because they got some pretty nice stuff.
Jason Hill says slope the stand pile more so they can climb up the pile with their diesel trucks.
Well, maybe next year I'll put a brick in. Maybe try to get something in there.
Get up his intercooler.
Well, Ryan, I'm ready to hop off here. It's great visiting with you guys. Thank you so much for the event. And then, like I said, I want to apologize to the pullers. Had to pull so late, and the fans that missed classes. I got a lot of pretty derogatory emails from people when I got home about, pretty frustrated with a lot of parents are frustrated that their kids are out that late and trying to enjoy a pull, and a lot of guys are upset that classes were moved. But it was the best decision I made. You get running out late, you start to become a safety concern, and we had to do what we got to do. I feel it was the right decision. I'll stand by it. But I hope we'll learn from this and we'll march on, and I hope everybody understands the decisions we got to make, and it is what it is.
Yes, it is. And so have a great rest of your night. Maybe rest up there after a long weekend, and we'll talk to you soon, Clint.
All right, buddy. Thank you so much, and we'll see you over Cloverdale.
Oh, yes. Yep. Okay.
Thank you.
Bye. Okay, that was Clint Tucker, promoter of Gordyville, kind of recapping the 2017 event. And, I got to say, I was there for Friday and Saturday. Still had a great time. It was a long couple days, and just some mishaps there with things that they just couldn't really control, that they were trying new technology like he was talking about with the trolley system on the smoke tube. And, of course, that was really what dominoed the effect. And with that many types of competitors, any type of small delay just kind of amplifies that and pushes everything back, especially from the afternoon session into the evening session. So Jason will be back next week. Again, he's up at the Wisconsin State Fair Convention in Wisconsin Dells, helping the Badger State Tractor Pullers out as he's the VP of the Badger State Tractor Pullers, so doing VP things. So I'm Ryan Zolik for Brandon Johnson. We'll see you next week. And we'll be talking back again with Bryce Howell and Carl Harlan of the NTPA Winter Nationals. And we'll have a few more special events going on for next week's show right here on Beer Money Pulling Team and Let's Grow Pulling Facebook page, 7 p.m. next Monday night. Have a great rest of your evening, everyone.